On March 6, 1957, Ghana made history as the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence from colonial rule. Leading the milestone was Kwame Nkrumah, a visionary leader whose influence would extend far beyond Ghana's borders. Ghana's pace-setting achievement did not end at independence from colonial rule. Nkrumah's pioneering leadership ushered in a new era, filled with bold reforms aimed at building a prosperous, unified, and modern Ghana. Independence Day, March 6, 1957, was a momentous occasion not just for Ghana, but for the entire African continent. As Kwame Nkrumah stood before tens of thousands of supporters, he declared, "Ghana will be free forever." In his speech to Parliament, he made clear his vision for the newly independent nation, calling on the people to prove that Africans could govern themselves with efficiency, tolerance, and democracy. Nkrumah was hailed as the Osojifo, the Redeemer, a title that captured the immense expectations placed on him to lead Ghana into a new era. Under Nkrumah's leadership, the government introduced a series of social democratic reforms aimed at improving the lives of Ghanaians. He created a welfare system, initiated various community programs, and built new schools across the country. In education, he launched the Accelerated Development Plan, which aimed for universal primary education. Nkrumah's most ambitious projects focused on infrastructure and industrialization. The construction of the Akosombo Dam over Volta River was at the heart of his plans to transform Ghana into an industrial powerhouse. The dam was intended to provide hydroelectric power, fueling economic development and industrial growth. In 1960, Nkrumah transformed Ghana into a republic, becoming its first president. A new constitution gave him broad executive and legislative powers. Nkrumah was elected president with an overwhelming majority, defeating opposition leader J.B. Dankwa. As president, Nkrumah sought to eliminate tribalism and unite the country under a single national identity. He banned tribal flags and emphasized national unity, believing that tribalism was a threat to Ghana's future. In his book, Africa Must Unite, Nkrumah wrote that the nation was engaged in a war, not against another nation, but against poverty, disease, and tribalism. Nkrumah's economic policies were centered around rapid industrialization. His second development plan, introduced in 1959, aimed to diversify Ghana's economy by promoting local industries. By 1964, he launched a 7-year development plan which prioritized industrial development with the goal of reducing Ghana's reliance on foreign imports. In education, Nkrumah made significant strides. In 1961, he established compulsory primary education and later founded the Kwame Nkrumah Ideological Institute to train civil servants and promote Pan-African ideals. Education was key to Nkrumah's vision for a modern Ghana, and his government invested heavily in expanding secondary technical schools and vocational training. Nkrumah's vision for Ghana was closely tied to his dream of a united Africa. He was a key figure in the creation of the Organization of African Unity (OAU), established in 1963, and envisioned a continent united under socialism. Nkrumah believed that Ghana's independence was meaningless unless the rest of Africa was free. On the international stage, Nkrumah navigated the Cold War tensions by maintaining relationships with both the Eastern and Western blocs. While receiving economic aid from the United States, he also strengthened ties with the Soviet Union and other socialist countries. His foreign policy was rooted in non-alignment and Pan-African solidarity. Despite his early successes, Nkrumah's government began to face significant challenges. Falling cocoa prices, rising debt from ambitious infrastructure projects, and increasing political repression to growing dissatisfaction among Ghanaians. His one-party state, established in 1964, isolated him further from the people. In February 1966, while Nkrumah was on a diplomatic mission to North Vietnam, his government was overthrown in a military coup. His Pan-African dream and vision for a socialist Ghana were cut short. Yet, despite his fall from power, Nkrumah's legacy endures. Kwame Nkrumah's leadership left an indelible mark on Ghana and the African continent. His bold vision for a unified, self-reliant Africa inspired generations of African leaders and activists. Today, his legacy lives on in the hearts of many, as a symbol of African unity, independence, and hope. Watch out for more stories in the next video.